Happy New Year, comrades! The Union of Soviet Socialist Republics sees another day dawn on a brand new year of January 1937. Things progress slowly. The workers' paradise was not built in a day, and this one will take its good time as well. Peace lies in the Soviet lands, not so much the imperialist nations across the world as they maneuver and position themselves in antagonistic warfare against peace-loving citizens of foreign nations. In the Iberian Peninsula, we've seen the Eastern Andalusia territory exchange hands several times, the nationalists capturing Eastern Andalusia and the Basque country and pushing in towards capturing more Republican territory. We see the Marco Polo incidents occurred in Beiping, in Peking, the old city, where Japanese forces fired upon Chinese troops. And no war has broken out, but definitely there is antagonism on the border as Japanese forces build up their forces in Rihe. Things are looking quite grim. A warlord here amongst the Chinese have joined the socialist cause for the communist nations, seeing that it is not the way of, well, the imperialistic, capitalistic nations out there, but it is united amongst brethren, amongst brothers, that we will succeed in this hostile world. And so the northern warlord of Suyan has joined the communist cause. And that is the situation thus far. Apart from that, the nations of the world, the capitalistic, fascist, democratic, and the mighty socialist, friend of the people, have just simply been maneuvering in positions of strength and power. So, I was pointed out to me by the veteran that I should be playing the CCP first. It's no skin off my nose, so I really don't care. So, I'm going to be buying for them 1 infantry, and I'm going to be spending $1 on an influence roll. And we are going to try to influence... we're trying to bring the influence of the northern warlord here, the Peking warlord, into the fold. We have an influence roll of 3 or less. We have 1 for each territory adjacent, so it should be 3 or less. By my calculations, I believe that's the way it works. So 1, 2, 3 because we spent $1. Let's see what the results are. It's a 4, quite close by. Maybe we get a +1 because there's 2 extra territories there. I highly doubt it, though. Maybe if I spent $1 extra, we would have gotten it. Anyways, no success. So what we're going to do for our non-combat, we're simply going to move some units back to Shensi. We realize that the Japanese aggression over here is just too much pressure against us. That's worthwhile moving our forces back here. We're also going to place our unit on the map here, and that takes care of the CCP turn. We're going to collect our income, which is going to be $3. So we had $4 to spend, $3 for an infantry, $1 for an influence roll. That leaves us with $3. While we're looking at this side of the globe, we're going to roll twice for the Mongolians because I was told that we have to roll for them. Now, personally, not to be too critical, but I find this mechanic slightly interesting because it's one of those things that a person could easily forget to roll for these allied nations. I like it because it gives recruitment to all these nations. I needed 4 less and I didn't get it, but it's one of those things that's easily forgotten. But nonetheless, you know, I'm not going to turn down new and fresh units for Mongolia. Sure, why not? Okay, let's get into the Soviet turn. So for the Soviets, we are building 1 AAA for $4 to lend these to Spain, and that brings us down to $1 left over. So let's go to our non-combat moves. We have 2 ships here parked in C-Zone P3. They're going to move up 1 space to P1 so that we can start shipping them across to the A9 using the ice-free, well, not the ice-free, but we're going to break the ice for them to get those ships across. We also have 2 ships sitting here in the Mediterranean. They can move 3 spaces, so from M2 they're going 1, 2, 3 to A28. And that takes care of the naval aspect of things. Let's take a look at the military aspect. We're going to move these 4 infantry and 1 militia to Primorsky Krai from Amur. We're going to rail this motorized in that direction, and this cavalry is going to be railed out there. Novosibirsk is going to get this infantry marching in from Angara, and that's my 2 rail moves for this side of the map. So I'm going to deal with them a little later. They're going to arrive all the way out to... The cavalry is going to arrive... you know what? They're going to both go to Leningrad, because why not? That seems to be a nice... pile of people to start training our forces at. From Western Russia, we're going to send a motorized also to Leningrad, and also from Karelia, this light armor is going to go into that territory too. We're going to move 1 infantry up from Western Germany, Western Russia north as well. We're going to send this cavalry to Leningrad as well, just to really make a big stack. I'm gonna eventually put this on a task force marker, but right now I don't feel like it. Okay, so we have stacks of stuff there. This guy's, you know what, I really should be doing that because it would make more sense to show you guys all what's there. Sorry about that. I'm not usually not a messy person. It's just, I have some excuses somewhere. I don't know. Let's scale this down here. Okay, so here we have 1 motorized, 1 tactical bomber, light armor, 1 cavalry, 2 cavalry, Soviet fighter, 2 Soviet fighters that is, 1 militia, 1 more motorized, 3rd motorized, and we have a seaplane sitting there as well, just for the fun of it. So it's all going there. Okay, so we have from Kaluga Oblast, we're going to move 1 unit north to Western Russia. Apparently this cavalry doesn't exist, so I'm going to take it off the board. That's just the way this map was set up with, I guess. From Orel Kursk, we're going to move 1 infantry to Smolensk, and this guy in Orel Kursk, this light armor, is going to come up to northern Belarusia. And this infantry is going to stay here. And here, the Soviet motorized is also going to come up to northern Belarusia as well. We have in Kalmitskaya, we're going to send this motorized all the way to Moscow, and these 2 infantry, we're going to send 1 southwards and 1 to here, to Donetsk Kuban, perhaps. This cavalry is going to go 2 spaces to Donetsk Kuban, and that about covers everything that we want to do with our land forces here. Yep. Actually, one last thing we're going to do. We're going to send 1 infantry north to Kola here as well. Yeah, why not up there to Kola? That'll do. Alright, so that takes care of business there. Now, I didn't set up myself up for combat moves because, hey, I'm not as organized as other people. But right now, what I'm going to do is combat moves for Spain. I like to do things nation by nation because it's hard to remember otherwise. So we're making a combat move from Madrid. We're sending 1 infantry to Eastern Andalusia with a medium bomber and a fighter. I should actually share you a timestamp as well. 12:03 a.m. on January 3rd. So that's what's going into that territory. And that is our combat move for Spain. So we're going to roll some dice. These are the dice we need to roll. White is 1, and red, I believe, is 6, and yellow is 7. I shall show you what it is here. So they've marked this one. Yellow is 7. Yep. So we've got 2 hits, and he's got no hits. So we have succeeded in taking him out here in Eastern Andalusia and have exchanged territories once again with him. And we put his unit here. So far as you can see, we've had equal casualties on all conflicts. That's kind of amusing. But that is the way she goes. We're going to land our medium bomber here in Madrid. And our fighter is going to land in Catalonia. And we're going to remove their roundel and replace it with ours. Boom. Okay, we're going to send this heavy cruiser here and going to move him into port. Let's just clone this one. That way he provides a skeleton crew to anybody that attacks us in that territory. And we're going to leave this destroy. You know what? We're going to put this destroyer in that sea zone. And this coastal sub is going to come out this way 1 space. Alrighty, so we now need to receive our Lend-Lease. Boom. And I believe I put my CCP unit on the map. I believe this is it. Yeah, should be there. Alright. Am I forgetting anything? Okay, so the British kindly upgraded 1 of our militia, so by rights, this guy should be 3 infantry and 1 militia sitting here in Madrid. And now we get to do a recruitment roll for this nation as well. And how many do we need to roll? We got 3 for here, 4, 5, 6. So we should be rolling 6 or less on this dice here. I still need to do one more thing. It's a 12. Miss. Okay, I still need to do our income increase for the Russians. Come on, dice. It's a 4. Alright, so we've gone from, I believe it's somewhere at $4, so we've doubled our income. 4 to 8. $8 of income. So that leaves us at a nice, tidy $9 for next turn. Is that right? Yep. And that takes care of business. So this is the current situation here. Pretty easy to see. And I believe that's it. Alright everyone, thank you all for watching, and check out the veteran next for the Japanese turn, when most likely he will do some pushing into Chinese territory. Thank you all, talk to y'all later. And, well, you know, let's hear it for the Russians. Probably that's not the best thing to say at this time. Cheers all.